I made a prediction about a month ago when Jay-Z was sued for raping a 13-year-old girl in the year 2000. Okay, and then we did a whole look at that lawsuit. We read through the claims and everything, and it just wasn't adding up. So yeah, if the Southern District of New York, if they end up pursuing Jay-Z for this, that gives this the actual like credibility that it needs to be taken serious. Up until this point, I don't trust this Tony guy. You know, I believe a lot of the Diddy victims. We have evidence that we've seen publicly about the Diddy situation, so that's a little different. But this like one Jay-Z accusation that's kind of out of nowhere, doesn't align with anything else we've heard about Jay-Z up until this point. I'm not too convinced yet. But if the state of New York starts to pursue Jay-Z, then I'm like, now we got something on our hands here. That means there's actual evidence. Now, I am a believer of women. If you are familiar with this channel, you probably have seen me do nothing but believe victims' stories, right? But there was so many inconsistencies with this Jane Doe lawsuit against Jay-Z, and there was no corroborating evidence, no secondary witnesses. I was kind of just landing on like, look, if the state of New York decides to pick this up, then I'll start to believe it. But as of now, this doesn't seem legit at all. I don't know if the girl is lying or not, but it doesn't feel real. From what I'm seeing here, there's nothing that makes me inclined to like actually believe that the story happened, because it was so outlandish and the times weren't adding up. So I don't know what is really going on at the root of it, but I could just tell you from reading it that things didn't feel like they were adding up. And so that's what I ran with, and I made a video titled I Don't Trust Tony Busby, and here we are a month later, and the Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs rape lawsuit dismissed by Jane Doe's attorney, because apparently Diddy was wrapped up in that accusation as well. Now, let's just read. The lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z over the alleged rape of a 13-year-old girl in 2000 has been dismissed by the attorney representing the Jane Doe, according to a court filing made on Friday in New York. The voluntary dismissal reviewed by Variety was filed by attorneys Tony Busby and Antogene Chorus, claiming that the Jane Doe who accused the musicians of sexual assault hereby gives notice that the above captioned action is voluntarily dismissed with prejudice. The suit cannot be refiled as it is in its present form. Additionally, Roc Nation, the entertainment company owned by Jay-Z, issued a statement signed by Jay-Z calling this a victory. In his statement, Jay-Z also says this issue caused trauma for his wife and children. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed, he wrote. The civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere. The fictional tale they created was laughable if not for the seriousness of the claim. I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed. This 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind Jane Doe, and when they quickly realize that the money grab is going to fail, they get to walk away with no repercussions. The system has failed. The court must protect victims, of course, while with the same ethical responsibility, the courts must protect the innocent from being accused without a shred of evidence. 100%. I'm totally down with that. I feel that through and through. Someone might wander onto this channel and see me just like, for example, talking shit about Slow Tie. I got a lot of pushback on that. People are like, why are you going to believe that this happened even though the court said that it didn't? It's like, listen guys, I am taking facts in what I'm given, and I'm giving you my honest interpretation or my honest like gut feeling about what's going on there. There's ways to read these situations. It's called media literacy, right? Just kind of sniffing these things out, and sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. For example, I wasn't wrong about the Bando Stone movie. That shit doesn't exist, unfortunately. It is what it is. Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, also issued an individual statement. The false case against Jay-Z that never should have been brought has been dismissed with prejudice by standing up in the face of heinous and false allegations. Jay has done what few can. He pushed back. He never settled. He never paid one red penny. Good for him. He triumphed and cleared his name. Reps for Busby did not immediately return Variety's request for comment. Jane Doe initially filed the suit against Combs in October, adding Jay-Z's name to the suit 2 months later. She alleged that Combs and Jay-Z raped her in 2000 after they had brought her to an MTV Music Video Awards afterparty. Jay-Z was quick to blast the claim, stating that his lawyer was sent blackmail in an effort to pressure him into settling out of court. He said it had the opposite effect and instead inflamed him to expose his accuser for the fraud they are in a very public fashion. Yeah, that was fascinating because we had never seen Jay-Z like drop the perfectly manicured public image. Like totally didn't seem like the typical PR statement. Like we were getting non-PR filtered Jay-Z for the first time, at least first time in a very long time. So that was kind of cool peek behind the curtain. What ensued was a blitz of court filings and a public back and forth between Jay-Z, Roc Nation, and Busby. In December, the Jane Doe gave an interview that damaged her credibility as she claimed that not all the facts are clear in her recollection of the night's events and said that I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. So, I read that and I'm like, she doesn't even know. Like, And then the way that Jay-Z was going after this, you never know how manipulative and smart someone can be, but it just was oozing authenticity. Jay-Z's response and reaction to this, just oozing it. Later that month, the judge decided that she could proceed anonymously in the lawsuit against the rappers. Last month, Jay-Z filed a motion to dismiss the ongoing lawsuit after securing permissions from U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres. The request claimed that there were a series of inconsistencies in the woman's account. While the case against Jay-Z has been dismissed, Combs faces dozens of lawsuits that have been filed over the past year, and it's a different story. So yeah, Jay-Z he's clear, and we knew that over here at Quarter Day Recordings. We knew it. Diddy, on the other hand, those cases are different, and I've said this in the past, but the stuff that Tony is bringing against Diddy, now granted, there's a lot that's coming against Diddy. I don't know the details of each one of these, but from what we've seen, like we've seen the Cassie shit, we've seen a lot of like actual hard evidence for some of these accusations and whatnot against Diddy. You know, I trust Tony is doing some good work with that, but we also looked into Tony. He's definitely an opportunist. You know, he is not some moral high ground here. You know, I don't trust Tony Busby. I still don't. But yeah, fuck Diddy. And I'm happy for Jay-Z. We didn't lose that one. Thank God. Didn't lose Jay-Z.